how do we as Muslims look at the other? Right? How do we as Muslims look at others? And this is very important because there's an unfortunate tendency among some people to look at the other rather negatively. Those kafirs, right? That kind of thing. And in order to look at the correct Islamic look at the other, we have to understand, how did the Prophet ﷺ, how did our beloved messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, look at the other? What was his attitude towards others who were not Muslim? And in order to understand this, it's important to realize the state of society when the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, came. The Qur'an describes the state that ظَهَرَ الْفَسَادُ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِي النَّاسِ, that corruption has spread in the land and on the sea by what the hands of men have wrought. That there was widespread corruption, there was social injustice, there was economic injustice. People had all kinds of superstitious beliefs that were very harmful. They would bury their daughters alive because they preferred having male children. There's all kinds of bad practices that had spread, and this is why the prophetic message came, not only to affirm divine oneness, but also to call to the good and to call to justice. But despite that, how did the Prophet ﷺ define his mission? He did not define his mission in a negative light, that I have been sent to take people from the garbage heap of ignorance to the light of guidance. That wasn't the prophetic approach. But rather, when he defined his message, he did so in a beautiful way. He said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ صَالِحَ الْأَخْلَاقِ, that I was only sent to perfect virtuous character and conduct. I was only sent to perfect virtuous character and conduct. What's noteworthy about this is that the Prophet ﷺ saw the good that other people had. He saw that they had salah, they had virtue, they had good. Yet they were falling short of their human potential. So he saw his message of guidance that he came with, not as somehow that this is the good and what you have is all bad, and leave what you have and come to what we have, in a sort of partisan way that is condescending and negative. But rather he recognized the good that others have. That people at the end of the day are trying to seek their good in this life, yet they fall short because the straight path of pursuing the good is not clear to them. They try to do the right thing, but they get lost. So he saw his message as fulfilling that human potential, that human desire for the good, and as being the way of fulfilling that potential. So he saw the good in them, and he saw this message as being the means of them fulfilling their human potential. Because every person is born on the fitrah, on that natural disposition, that natural inclination towards seeking the good. Yet, due to the way society is, and due to the nature of the worldly constraints on human beings, people fall short in their pursuit of good, or they're bewildered in seeking it. So this is very important, because then